Setting: a candle-lit room with a large wooden table in the center. Friedrich Nietzsche and Karl Marx sit across from each other, their faces illuminated by the flickering light.
Karl, your focus on class struggle and the material conditions of society is commendable, but I fear that you overlook the complexities of human nature. And what complexities would those be, Friedrich? Do you believe that the exploitation of the working class can be explained away by some abstract notion of human nature? Ah, Karl, you underestimate the power of the individual. Your proletariat may seek liberation from their oppressors, but do they truly understand the consequences of their revolution? Consequences? Are you suggesting that the working class should passively accept their exploitation for fear of the unknown? Not at all, Karl. What I propose is a re-evaluation of values, a recognition that true liberation comes from within, not from the overthrow of external structures. Shaking his head. Your emphasis on the individual seems to ignore the systemic injustices that perpetuate class oppression. How can one find true freedom when chained by economic inequality? Chuckling. Ah, but Karl, is it not the very struggle against adversity that gives life meaning? Your vision of a classless society may eradicate one form of oppression, but it risks replacing it with another. Raising his voice. And what of your will to power, Friedrich? Is it not a dangerous ideology that glorifies domination and hierarchy? Domination, yes, but not in the sense you imply. The will to power is about self-mastery, about overcoming one's limitations and embracing one's potential. But in a society where power is concentrated in the hands of the few, how can the individual truly exert their will to power? By rejecting the herd mentality, Karl. By embracing one's uniqueness and refusing to be defined by external forces. True power comes from within, not from without. Pausing to consider. Perhaps there is some truth to what you say, Friedrich, but I remain skeptical of an ideology that places the individual above the collective good. Perhaps the synthesis of our perspectives lies in a balance between the collective and the individual, between social justice and personal empowerment. Extending his hand. A dialectical synthesis, Friedrich, an ongoing conversation between the will to power and the struggle for liberation.
This more in-depth fictional dialogue explores the tensions between Nietzsche's emphasis on individual empowerment and Marx's focus on collective liberation. By challenging each other's perspectives and delving into the nuances of their ideologies, the dialogue seeks to highlight the complexities of social change and the ongoing debate between individualism and collectivism. Friedrich Nietzsche, Individual Empowerment Perspective, Prose 1, emphasis on personal growth. Nietzsche's philosophy encourages individuals to strive for self-improvement and self-realization, promoting personal growth and development. 2. Celebration of uniqueness. By valuing individuality and uniqueness, Nietzsche's perspective fosters a sense of personal identity and authenticity, allowing individuals to pursue their own paths and values. 3. Resilience and self-reliance. Nietzsche's focus on the will to power can help individuals build resilience, self-confidence and self-reliance, enabling them to overcome challenges and setbacks. Cons 1. Potential for elitism. Nietzsche's philosophy of the will to power can be interpreted as promoting elitism and superiority, potentially justifying oppressive behaviors or hierarchies based on power dynamics. 2. Neglect of systemic issues. By prioritizing individual agency and self-mastery, Nietzsche's perspective may overlook systemic injustices and structural inequalities that impact society as a whole, potentially undermining collective efforts for social change. 3. Lack of emphasis on solidarity. Nietzsche's focus on individual empowerment may downplay the importance of solidarity and community, potentially leading to a lack of support networks and collective action in the face of shared challenges. Karl Marx, Collective Liberation Perspective, Prose 1. Focus on social justice. Marx's ideology highlights the importance of collective action and solidarity in addressing systemic inequalities and injustices, aiming to create a more equitable and just society for all. 2. Empowerment of marginalized groups. Marx's emphasis on the proletariat and collective struggle seeks to empower marginalized groups, giving a voice to those who have been historically oppressed and exploited. 3. Structural analysis. Marx's analysis of capitalism and class struggle provides a systemic framework for understanding and challenging oppressive structures, offering a basis for transformative social change. Cons 1. Potential for authoritarianism. Marx's ideology has historically been associated with authoritarian regimes that suppress individual freedoms in the name of achieving collective liberation, raising concerns about the concentration of power and lack of personal autonomy. 2. Overlooking individual agency. Marx's focus on class dynamics and collective liberation may downplay the importance of individual agency and personal responsibility, potentially limiting opportunities for personal growth and self-expression. 3. Complexity of implementation. Marx's vision of a classless society and collective liberation requires a fundamental restructuring of social and economic systems, posing significant practical challenges in terms of implementation and transition. By analyzing the pros and cons of each approach and perspective, we can better understand the strengths and limitations of Friedrich Nietzsche's individual empowerment philosophy and Karl Marx's collective liberation ideology in addressing social issues and promoting human flourishing.